Welcome back in. In this chapter, we'll talk about addressable geofencing and how you can actually stalk your competitors. Okay, so it's not actually stalking, but it does feel that way sometimes. Geofencing is one of the most powerful targeting strategies you can use. With geofencing, we can narrow our targeting even more than normal. We focus on specific rooftops, parking lots, neighborhoods, etc. We can gather information about the people who have recently visited specific addresses and put ads for your business directly on their devices, regardless of where they are now. It's what you use to gather an audience who gathered at a place that relates to you in some way. Popular locations are venues for events you know your audience will attend, the buildings of businesses who are strong referrals to you, and even your competitors' locations. Here's a little bit more about how it works. Geofencing campaigns at their cores are not any different than programmatic display campaigns or pre-roll video campaigns. The thing that makes geofencing unique and more powerful is the way we access the target audience. Instead of manually building an audience of age ranges, demographics, and behaviors, what we're going to do is target specific locations and all of the patrons that visited those places within a certain time frame. Here's how it works in a little more detail. What makes geofencing ads unique? They're cost-effective. Just like programmatic display ads, they're good for brand awareness, so they do help us accomplish the top of the funnel. With geofencing, we acquire our audience by targeting a list of specific locations that we know our buyer persona is either currently visiting or has visited within a specific time frame in the past. With geofencing campaigns, we can also measure foot traffic attribution. This means of the people that we served ads to from that list of target locations, we can actually measure who visited our place of business physically on foot after receiving an ad. Pretty cool, and it's great for ROI. We can now measure how many people per month, per week, per day from our list of target audiences are physically visiting us in the store. Geofencing ads are location-based ad campaigns. So the way that they look and the way that they serve on devices is going to be no different from your programmatic display ads. And they can only be served within the geographic radius that we select, just like other targeted ad campaigns. Okay, here's some more examples of how the ads will look on mobile devices. They're functionally no different than the programmatic display ads we discussed before. Essentially, as the advertiser, we're going to select a list of 10, 12, 15 locations that we want to target. They're either going to be competitors' locations or similar businesses that may refer you if you're something like a doctor's office or a specialty clinic or something like that that gets referrals from other doctors. We've seen that happen before. Any business that you think your target audience will frequent or has visited in the past, we will put a virtual fence around that location. It looks kind of like this picture right here. And in the instance of the look back concept that we'll discuss in the next couple of pages, I'm able to set up the campaign to gather all of the mobile devices that have visited that list of locations in the last X number of months. For example, if I want to set up a target list of Burger Kings and Wendy's for my McDonald's campaign I told you about earlier, and I want to target all of the devices that visited every Burger King and every Wendy's location in my town over the last 3 months, I can do that. Then I'll have an audience snapshot of how many devices are in that audience by location, what their household income is, what their genders are, what their age ranges are, and a lot more. It'll give me a good insight on who that audience is, so I kind of know a little bit more about who I'm dealing with. That's good for us to take a look at whether our list is going to be accurate based off of our buyer persona or not. So once we set up that target list of locations and we get that audience insight, we're able to confirm whether that's the actual audience we want to look for. From there, we're able to put ads directly on their phones if they're still located within a geographic area that we select. For example, so there's two different elements of location targeting that's going on here. We have the list of target locations that we're going to acquire our audience from. And then there's what's called the back geo, which is the radius within which we will serve the ads. The reason that there's two separate types of geographical elements to this campaign is there may be some individuals within that target list of locations who are not in the area anymore. Maybe they only visited that Burger King when they were here visiting family out of town and they actually live 3,000 miles away. Or maybe they've moved within the last 90 days and they're no longer located in an area that we want to target them with an ad. So we get around that by having that back geo selected, telling us that we're only going to serve ads to people who are still in this area. So it helps us eliminate those that are on the target list of locations but not in the area anymore, which is pretty cool and good for us because we don't want to waste ads on people who can't do business with us. Okay, there are two types of geofencing targeting. There's device ID and there's micro proximity. Okay, device ID is the look back feature. We're able to gather that list of those customers who have visited those locations over the past 90 days, 6 months, 12 months ago, and put ads on their devices even if they're not currently in that location or haven't been in several months. As long as they've been in a location within the look back time frame that we've selected, then they will show up on that target list and we'll be able to put an ad on their device. The second type of geofencing targeting is micro-proximity. This is the opposite. Micro-proximity campaigns give us the ability to target our audience in real time. So this concept only works for campaigns in which we're trying to reach people while they're still in the location that we're targeting and have time to look at their phones. The device ID with the look back feature is obviously the more popular, because with micro-proximity, as soon as they leave the locations that you're targeting, you cannot reach them anymore. The best types of businesses for micro-proximity campaigns are car dealerships, doctors' offices, hospitals with waiting rooms, oil change shops, etc. If it makes sense that your target customer may be physically in a location for long enough to pull his phone out and see an advertisement from you, then micro-proximity will work for you. But keep in mind, if you're doing micro-proximity geofencing on a location and that customer leaves that location, he's not going to receive an ad anymore. That's why the device ID with the look back feature is, in my opinion, a little better, because it doesn't matter where he's at now. As long as he's in the locations that we selected for our back geo, he doesn't have to be in a specific location to receive an ad. He can be anywhere within that selected region. Micro-proximity is the opposite. They have to be in the locations that you're targeting in real time, long enough to pull their phones out. And as long as you understand that once they leave that location, they won't get another ad until they're back, then go for it. Okay, geofencing ads accomplish two separate stages in the buying funnel, the first of which is the interest and research. It's not quite the branding and awareness. This target audience is a little further down the funnel in the interest and research stage, because we know that they're already visiting locations who are related to our business in some way. Competitors, like businesses, referral places, etc. So we already know that they're interested because they're doing business to some degree relative to ours. The foot traffic attribution report is good for proving the ROI of conversion. We can show you that they're coming into your place of business after receiving an ad, and it's likely that they did a transaction with you. All in all, geofencing ads work the same as programmatic display ads, but we know that they're unique in how we gathered the audience, and we know that we're attacking a little bit further down the funnel, increasing our chances of converting these audiences into buyers. Moving on to the next chapter, we'll talk about targeted email blast, or the new mailer. We'll see you there.